All right, everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is December 12th of 2024. The year is almost done, and I think most of us are very, very happy with the fact that this year is almost done. The struggle is absolutely real. This year is going to go down as one of the most challenging years for our industry. And the only good news is that we're still here. And on January 1st at midnight, the clocks get reset. Doesn't matter how much you made or how little you made, we all start at zero. And I think for folks that want to make sure that they get off to the quickest possible start, they're using these last couple, 3 weeks of the month of the year to go ahead and put things in place that can make a difference for them. I am still the number one believer that niche marketing is the way to go. I think that we have some areas that are just not being properly done by the agents. We were just talking about probate, and we're talking about working with investors, which is Brandon's forte with the CIAS. And I just think that a lot of opportunity is being left on the table. But the one area that I have some influence over is the pre-foreclosure market. We don't hear a lot of news about this because it's been an election year, folks. Everything has been drowned out. All the oxygen was sucked out of the room with all the election stuff and everything else. But behind the scenes, foreclosures are happening. They never stop happening. And in some areas, they're increasing faster than others. And we know what those areas are. Florida is always there. California, Nevada's number one right now. Who would think Maryland is way up there, right? South Carolina, Illinois, Indiana. So we have markets that are being more impacted than others. One of the challenges that agents have is they're just not doing enough lead generation. I think that aggressively waiting for the phone to ring is not a good strategy. You have to promote what you do. And there's so many different ways you can do it. We all know that having a website that's devoted to simply only to distressed properties is a good idea. But oftentimes agents that have these websites express disappointment that they're not getting any traffic. And I'm going, where is the website traffic fairy? I don't know of one. You have to aggressively promote what you have and send them to a place where you can capture that lead and capture that information. The most underused tool we have is our advanced marketing program. And we have the very first customer here with us, Debbie. It was like way over 2-3 years ago. We said, I gave her a little heads up. I go, Debbie, we're bringing back the advanced program. And she's, I'm in. You don't know what the price is. She goes, I don't care. I'm in. And she's an example of someone that uses it successfully, but the list is longer of folks that started it, then canceled it and everything else. And so what we stopped doing is, I just made an executive decision that subscriptions are not the way to go. Now, the folks that are grandfathered in, they're there, and we're certainly not going to take that away from them. But what we were finding is when Brandon and I decided to split off the advanced marketing campaigns from the advanced websites, we had quite a few people sign up for the advanced marketing campaign, and the fee was like $119 a month and everything. And here's what happened. Every month we're feeding you amazing content, but the agents weren't doing anything with that content, right? And I'm not talking about everyone. I'm just talking about mostly everyone, right? And then what'll happen is you pay $119 and the next month comes around, you get more great content, you pay $119 and then so on. Then you get to the point where you say, wait, I'm paying $19 and I'm not doing anything at all. And then you get back to that the gym membership syndrome. Hey, I'm going to quit my membership. Why? Because it's not working for me. Well, because driving by the gym is not the same as actually, pulling in and doing something. So I went to Brandon and I said, listen, why don't we just make this a la carte? We're doing this the wrong way. We have all these campaigns now. We have an extensive library. Why don't we make it simple for someone to say, I just want one good campaign to use right now, and let me use the heck out of it. And then when I'm done with that one, I'll go buy another one. and so on and so forth. So we went to work, and Brandon did a great job of completely redoing the program and the website and everything else. And that's what we want to showcase to you today, that there's some amazing content and the depth of the content. I don't think a lot of the CDPs appreciate just how much you're getting in this campaign. And then Brandon can share with us some strategies to best apply this. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it up to the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Louder. Brandon, it's all you, brother.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, a lot to be said. For those of you who don't know me, I am still an agent as well. This is my 31st year being an agent. I run a team here in Los Angeles, and I have the same pain and suffering that you guys have, right? I get it. The whole intent, just to kind of piggyback a little bit of what Tony was describing, is a little bit of what kind of pain do we have? Well, let's start with the simple stuff. And I'm sure you can see my screen there. As an agent, we should be doing prospecting and marketing. Well, that's fine. If you get a listing, you're working with a buyer, you have certain responsibilities and things that you have to do, and those are time consuming things. And for those of us who want to get good at marketing, the pain and suffering typically is around being consistent. For those of you who do social media, as an example, social media is a struggle for me personally, because it can also be a time suck. You get caught up in reading everybody else's stuff, and then you're trying to figure out what it is that you're going to post, or how you're going to post it. And that ties right back into the content. So even if you have a good system or a CRM, or you have a good schedule, and you're somewhat really good about being consistent in your marketing, the next big challenge you have is the content. Well, what am I going to talk about, right? So the easy thing is, if I get a listing as an example, the easy thing is for me to use some kind of a just listed template. And in that just listed template, I can put in a photo or two of the just listing, and I put in the address, and I put in the price, and I put in how many bedrooms and what size the property is, and all that great stuff. And we failed to forget, we're also trying to do lead generation. And in today's world, as an example, if you do your just listing and you put in the address and you put in all the information, that person doesn't need to call you. You've given them all the information, and your lead generation opportunity exists, or it goes away. And so those are strategies and tactics that I don't think are talked about enough. But what is important is that we're doing business as a real estate agent, which means I should be in front of people and I should be closing deals. That's what makes me money. It's that continuation of doing those things. And really, the whole principle behind the advanced program was to help bridge that gap with consistent marketing and content, and ways that you can use and leverage that content. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the kit's, it's got a calendar, it's got social posts, social stories, it's got the copy, the ad copy, the hashtags. There's email templates, there's handwritten note templates, there's a blog post, there's everything really pretty much in there. And we realize not everybody's going to use every one of those things. You typically have a tendency to want to use the things that you personally like to use. And maybe that's a newsletter or sending out an email to your sphere or whatever. But at the same time, you not only need to stay in front of the people you already know, you have to meet new people. Well, we do a ton of email marketing as an example. And if you're familiar with a heat map, maybe you know what a heat map is. And if you use a MailChimp or a Constant Contact as an example, you can send emails through there, and they have what's called a heat map. And something that we've learned, and it's actually something that I do as a consumer, is I might see a great ad, or I might see something that's really interesting to me or meaningful to me, but I'm not necessarily going to fill out the I want to learn more form, because I don't know if it's gimmicky. I don't know how credible it is. And with this heat map, what we've been able to prove is that most people who don't know who you are, they want to know how credible you are. So I will typically go to that person's website, and I want to know if they're legit. I want to know if they're credible. I want to know a little bit more about them. Or more importantly, a lot of our email templates, as an example, have the Instagram link, the Facebook link, the LinkedIn link. And what we noticed in that heat map is before people reach out to us, they're clicking one of those to learn a little bit more about us. And so the whole idea behind consistent marketing is to be able to offer something of value to the audience that at some point they will remember you in a positive way. And at some point in their life, they're going to want to talk to you about maybe selling, buying, or investing in real estate. And we should all be able to agree on that. And again, if your whole marketing is around your just listed program, or I can give you a free home evaluation, that's great. Like, we would never encourage you to stop doing it, but we're talking about a niche. We're talking about people who are potentially in financial situation or hardship, or they don't have equity in their home, or something is causing them to figure out, I need help. And we want them to think of you as that person, that go-to person, even as a licensed real estate professional. So all of our marketing is geared towards some topic monthly of conversation for you to have with a potential client. That's really what this is about. If you're not familiar with what a lead magnet is, if you've ever scrolled through your social media and you said, oh, we have a free booklet on how to cook whatever, click here to learn more, and you put in your name and your email, and as soon as you do that, you get a PDF download of that booklet. That's what a lead magnet is. And that's what we do in every one of our kits is we put in what we call it a report. And it's usually 4 to 8 pages of information that's specific about that topic. So we can provide the copy and the content, but at the same time, we've been dependent on you guys finding a way to go implement this into your marketing program. And I know that that's not easy for us. So as Tony mentioned earlier, we had a monthly subscription program where for $99 a month or whatever it was that you were paying, every month you got access to a new topic with a new kit that had everything involved in it. Well, over the last 2 years, we've built such an extensive library, and talking with Tony about, business is slower, monthly subscriptions, we want you to make more money. We've broken the kits down now. We've got this library, and I'll just kind of slowly go through this with you. But each kit now has a specific topic, just like we did in the past. The only difference is now you can buy one kit at a time. And so what Tony is offering is $49 for a kit. And we'll just go through some of these topics, right? Like, we have found that in January, or December, your home equity checkup is a great conversation. And remember, the topic is, it's that time for your annual home equity checkup. And you can use the social media post or the story or a video script or the email template or a flyer template. It's all the same theme, but it's all designed to get them to go, hey, I want that report. I want to learn more before I talk to you. And that's what these kits are really designed to do. The Great Home Equity Resurgence, Forbearance, what you need to know, distressed homeowners, high interest rates, the role of real estate investors. We get into scams, renting versus selling. So all of the entire suite of these kits historically is now available for you basically to purchase as a standalone. And once you purchase it, you'll get access to that particular kit's dashboard. And every kit, as an example, has a implementation guide that you can download if you're not familiar with how to do these things. But more importantly, when you get over to the campaign itself, there is a calendar on how you can send it out. There's an e-magazine, right, that you can send people a link to. If people want to read this digitally, I mean, it's just a great way for you to get in front of people. All of the flyers are customizable with a free Canva account. As soon as you go in here and edit the flyer, as an example, it allows you to go ahead and change your information, your branding, all right there on the flyer, which I think is awesome. The report, same thing. If you click on the report template and go into edit it in Canva, you can see how extensive right, the information is. And this is an example of what a lead magnet is. And we see people, they sign up, they want to learn, they want to read it at their convenience, but it still has my information on it. And again, the whole idea right behind these kits is to get to a place where you have some consistent marketing going out specific to this niche. And it's just like anything else in real estate. It's timing, right? But the idea is to lead generate and offer something of value. And that's what we've done. So Tony, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes. So probably open it up to some questions right now, but I think that the value is certainly there. The only challenge is getting this stuff out there. And I think the area that they need to focus on the most right now is the social media. That's really, really something. And the fact that you're providing the social media content for them and everything else, that's just incredible.
Well, and it's not just even, the post. There is all of the copy, like the headline, the emojis, the
Yeah.
copy, right? Everything's in there. Even if you have an assistant or a VA, it should be a no-brainer to do it. And there's at least 6 of those in there. So you could do it 6 times, right? Depending on whatever the topic of the kit is that you download. It's there for you to
Yeah.
include in whatever it is that you're already doing.
Yeah. Now the addresses, Kathy's asking the addresses. Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it the hard way or the easier way. The hard way is pulling it yourself from the courthouse sites and everything else. The best way is to have an account with someone like, say, Redx, and we can share our link for Redx for our affiliate link, because that way you're able to get all that information in one. For example, I use Redx because I not only get the addresses and all that, but I get phone numbers that are scrubbed against the do not call list. This is critical. You don't want to get in trouble. Let's say they have 2 phone numbers. One may be on the do not call list, but the other one is not. That's great. Redx also provides email addresses when applicable. So now you can incorporate another facet of marketing. You can take what you download and actually upload it into Facebook as a custom audience and be able to target the ads to them. One of the areas I think that people need to start doing is the foreclosure prevention workshops. Daniel, one of our superstars, is doing an amazing job with these. And in the resources area of the CDPE, I have the PowerPoint that I use. I've given it to you. I have a sample marketing flyer for you to replicate, make better. I have a recording of the last Zoom that I did for a distressed audience. It wasn't addressed to agents, it was addressed to consumers. This way, you can go ahead and just have it all as turnkey as possible. We need to do this, folks. And when you're doing these workshops, you're marketing it throughout your entire state. You're not just marketing it to a little area. You're licensing the entire state. The areas you don't want to get to or drive to, you can refer those out. People talk about, Tony, I love when you, in the class, when you hold up your phone and you just wing it and you say, hey, everyone, this is Tony Martinez, your local real estate expert, blah, blah, blah. I wish I could do that. I go, you can. Use the prompter script that we provide you. And what do you use, Brandon? A teleprompter app or something like that?
Yeah, it's so easy, and that's why what's cool about it is the video script's there. All you got to do is copy and paste it into the teleprompter app, and you just hold up your phone and just look in. And what's cool is nobody knows you're reading a script because you're looking at the camera and the teleprompter's right there on your phone, and you can knock something out in 20 to 30 seconds that's meaningful.
Absolutely. On the postcard side, and this is something that one of the things I know that it's tough to implement. So what I'm doing is within my own team in the office, I'm going to select 2 or 3 agents that are like the best ones I have in distressed properties. And I'm going to say, look, here's what we're going to do. Everything that I'm trying to get the agents to do, we're going to do here. We're going to launch our own marketing. We're going to do everything. And then I'm going to cut you guys loose and let's see what we can do. For example, the postcards. The best way to do the postcards is you just print them yourself. You just have to get the right color printer that can handle the thicker stock. But
Mhm.
you're not having 500 or 1,000 postcards done. You're having 25 done. You're having 30 done. Whatever the new list that week is, they come two up on the sheet, right, Brandon?
Well, yeah, and here's a, the back to the question, how do you get a list? Like that's what we use our title companies for.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing that up real quick, Tony, is because to your point, if we are looking in our backyard and we find 84 people who are in pre-foreclosure, not only do we have the address, but our title company, all we have to do is upload the postcard and they mail it for us. And it's like 92 cents each.
Well, I'm digging your title company. I don't know if everyone's title company
Mm.
does this, but maybe that's a model that they should be following. But you're right. When you can leverage it,
Yeah.
why not? Because my thinking is, well, one of my admin people every morning, they're going to walk in, they're going to pull up the list. Maybe there's 5 new people that list. We printed out X number of postcards, get labels printed, slap it on
Right.
there, mail it.
Right.
Now, you keep in mind, because people will tell me I mail letters. Well, we have letters. Now, sometimes letters work, sometimes they don't. I've never been a big fan of letters myself because there's an envelope that has to get opened and usually doesn't get opened after a while. I like the postcards. You know why? Because they get the message across regardless.
It,
You know,
and I want to remind everyone, if you look at this marketing content, this isn't a postcard you send to somebody and say, "Hey, I noticed you stopped making your payment. Can I list your house?" Right? Who can't relate to, are you feeling financially squeezed?
yeah.
Right? I mean, and that's the cool thing is we're giving you a non-salesy important content that most people can relate to so that they can think about you and want to call you. That's the whole goal.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Or maybe if not call you, you're sending them to a website, a landing page
Yep.
that they can find out a little bit more about you. Make sure that you always have a call to action on these things, right?
I'll give you another example of lessons learned from our team. Right? We at one point we were really proud to get our luxury designation, right? And so we did what the luxury designation people said and put luxury everywhere. And we did that, right? And our website and all that. And then we started picking up the phone, calling people, Tony, that we know, right?
Mhm.
And we lost 2 listings because those homeowners thought all we did was luxury
Yeah.
and they didn't think their property was luxury. So that's when we made the decision to separate. So to your
Yeah.
point about if you're going to have a niche, that niche needs to have its own box so that people don't get lost or think that you do 55,000 other things.
That's a great point. And the same thing happened in the distress side too. You know, when you market yourself as a certified distressed property expert, they go, oh, so that's all you do. So
Right.
a long time ago as a broker, I started counseling my agents. I go, don't put your address of your office on your business cards. You know why? Because they'll see the city and they'll assume that that's the only city you work.
Yep.
And you're thinking, how can anybody not get it? Folks, they don't get it.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
why I have a dedicated website for distressed properties. I'm going to go back to the guys that we did before and say, okay, let's start offering it again, but it's going to be separate. It's going to be not bundled. It's just the website only. So if somebody says, I want a dedicated website for distress, boom, we'll be able to help you. I want the marketing pieces, boom, we already got that. But these are ready to go. I mean, you're basically about 5 minutes away from downloading any of these campaigns. And what we're doing is we brought the price down to $49 on the first 100. We're trying to create a sense of urgency here for folks to go ahead and do it. So the regular price, I think, is $79 and $49. I think the value on these, and I don't want to sound like an infomercial or a Ginsu knife thing, but you got like $1,700 worth of value on this, right? And then
Yeah, I
Kathy
mean,
says in Virginia, you have to put the office address on there because it's the law. Don't you love all of these laws? You got to have that stuff on there.
yeah, I know the speed limit too.
Careful, careful, careful.
Okay.
Always do what the law requires, folks. Always do what the law requires. Yeah.
Yeah, I got all my training from the short sale queen.
No, will you stop it? Really, that gal's got enough problems right now.
I know.
Well, we earlier before we went online, we were talking about the stuff that's being done out there in the industry that obviously is neither ethical and especially illegal. And we're going to be stepping up our efforts to warning agents about some of the stuff that's being done. And I think what's happening is you have the puppets and you have the puppet masters. And I think a lot of agents are going to classes and learning stuff that's going to cause them serious harm. So in the case of this individual that's out there now indicted on federal charges, this person was a mentor to God knows how many agents, and she was teaching classes to how many people. So that goes ahead and changes things. So please, please pay attention to some of this stuff. You cannot produce straw offers. You cannot manufacture an offer that is not legit. You certainly can't falsify one and grab someone's information and put it on there. You cannot falsify proof of funds. Folks, there's plenty of legal strategies for delaying or stopping a foreclosure that don't involve breaking the law. So those are the things to keep you in mind. Debbie, what we did starting in December for the remaining folks that were paying $199 for the advanced combination, since it doesn't include the marketing pieces anymore, starting with your December invoice, you should have seen that drop to $169. So let me know if that's what happened. We just dropped it by $30. So the $169 is strictly for the website part of it. We have a gal that wrote to us and said, you know what? I asked these guys that you do the website from, what would it cost if I wanted to build one from scratch for me? And they said $5,000. So, the website is powerful. The website does a ton of stuff.
People right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that the people are just going to show up at your website. That's the whole idea with the monthly campaign, is to point them somewhere.
Yeah. So what we did is we reduced the $199 to $169. And now if any of the website folks want to get an individual campaign, they can buy an individual campaign for $49. So many of them already have campaigns that they've stored up from before that they didn't use. Okay, so those are your options as far as that's concerned. And then we can answer any additional questions offline. But I think that this is the best way to go. And then what will happen is as different situations come up, Brandon and I will collaborate and we'll create new campaigns. But we figure we have at least 24 to 30 campaigns in there right now to choose from. We got enough to keep you busy for a while.
Yeah, there's plenty to do.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I had to say. My intention was to keep it short and sweet. We'll make this recording available to folks after. Jeanette can post, you guys know how to get a hold of us. We'll give you our phone number. We'll give you our email and everything else. But again, if you have this plan and you haven't been using it, maybe it's time to strategize now and say, what are you going to do going forward to use it? But I think like Brandon said, talk to your title company. Maybe you can get a teenager or someone. I think this is something that a half hour each morning, you log on, you get the newest information, you print out some labels, you slap them on a postcard, you send them out. If you haven't been in our resources area in a while, go in there, find the recording of me doing the foreclosure prevention workshop so you can play it over and over again and you can learn how to do it. Find the PowerPoint so you can download it, and then you have something that you can customize, which is better than having a blank sheet of paper. And look, just get out there. Just start doing them. The business is there. We just have to get more assertive, especially with these scam artists now, really, really taking it to another level. We have to be the first point of contact with these distressed homeowners because they're getting ripped off, folks. They're totally getting ripped off. All right. Any questions? Anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question before we conclude? Going once, going twice. All right, Brandon, listen, this is one of the easier ones that we've done. All right.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, listen, do a plug real quick for the CIAS. I've been talking up the CIAS with the folks that are attending my Riches and Niches conference. Tell them about your designation, man. It's a sister
Yes.
designation to the CDPE.
Well, I see some familiar faces on here. I'm sure a couple of them know who CIS is. So, yeah. So Tony, thank you. It's the Certified Investor Agent Specialist designation. We have a great training on how to work in the investor space, how to become an investor yourself, all of those great things. If you want, I'll just put in the upcoming workshops in the chat.
Okay.
We have, you know, a great group of people nationwide. We're rolling out some new product. If you're part of the CIS network, we're rolling out a cash offer program for your sellers, all sorts of cool stuff. So I just put the link in the chat. If you guys want to learn more about the certified investor, it's a great complement to the CDPE designation. Yeah.
All right. All right, folks. Well, listen, as we conclude this year, be thankful we're still here. You know, a lot of folks can't say that, you know, and you know what? I know it's been a tough year, but I'm excited. I'm excited about the potential. I think our industry is going to rebound. It may not happen right away. It may not be the first quarter, maybe even the second quarter. But you know what? Real estate's been around for a long time. You know, they need us. We just have to get out there and make sure that we are stressing and highlighting our value proposition, right? It really comes down to why you versus anybody else. We thank you for being CDPEs. We thank you for your commitment to helping folks out there in distress. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're here to help you any way possible. So God bless and Happy New Year to everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Take care. Bye-bye.
I did take a four.
I know I can see a pause.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we do this in the big fridge, don't we?